With every passing year, cartoon animation seems to get better and better, but there's still one very important question to answer. How do you get kids excited to watch your show? Well, you gotta make the coolest opening you possibly can. We already looked at the cartoon intros of the 90s, so how about we step into the next decade? So hey, I'm Nervous Nick for Screw Attack's Top 10 2000s Cartoon Intros.
Number 10.
A fair reminder, we're talking about cartoon intros. You are about to have several songs rattling around in your brain for the rest of the day. And we're gonna start off with one of the most infectious theme songs on the list. Nickelodeon was responsible for plenty of headbangers in the 2000s, but none catchier than the theme song to the Fairly Odd Parents.
Timmy is an average kid that no one understands.
First of all, I'm a sucker for jazz and swing music, so this one always gets my toes tapping right off the bat. Second, getting a bit analytical here, but I think it's really cool how the intro uses color to make Timmy look out of place. And then when he reunites with Wanda and Cosmo, all the color comes back. Kinda tells you something about the characters. And that is when the song's best lyrics kick in.
Apple juice, rubber goose, green rose, guava juice, giant steak, birthday cake, large rice, chocolate shake.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's not leaving your brain for the rest of the day, I promise.
Number 9.
All right, I need to know one thing. Where are my metalheads at? Cartoons for adults may not have been invented in the 2000s, but man oh man did they take off in that decade. So many great shows debuted back then, but none of them kicked off like Metalocalypse. Both the show and the intro spoofed and celebrated what made being a fan of metal so special. I mean, the first lyrics are literally doodly ding dong tick tock growled out by Death Clock's lead singer Nathan Explosion. In just half of a minute, he introduces us to the other band members, and William Murderface is my favorite, in easily the most brutal intro ever made.
Number 8.
Can an anime count as a cartoon? Either way, the intro to One Piece still deserves to be here. The narrator sets up the premise of this worldwide pirate adventure perfectly. And then...
Don't give it up, Luffy.
Okay, listen! I know that there are trillions of One Piece fans in the world who all hate what 4Kids did to this great show back in the day, but can we at least acknowledge that the pirate rap is good, dumb fun? And I do mean dumb. But besides all the yayos and the rappers spitting bars almost as hot as Natsu's Fire Dragon's roar, this opening also does something pretty critical for this list. It treats One Piece as if it is an American cartoon and not a Japanese anime. Hey, whenever the day comes when we do top 10 anime intros, you can bet we'll give the real One Piece opening its fair consideration. But until then, don't give it up Luffy! Don't give it up Zoro! Don't give it up Nami!
Number 7.
I'm gonna cringe at that One Piece thing forever. Anyway, if you're new to our top 10s, let me fill you in on another personal tidbit of mine. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was like my favorite thing ever when I was a kid. Well, heck, it still kind of is. I'll always love the show that made me a fan, but there's so much to like about the intro to the 2003 show.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I mean, this is what introduced these dudes to a whole new generation. You've gotta love this opening for its slick animation and showing off all of the cool characters. And you know, it was actually a tight race between this and the Back to the Sewers intro, but in the end, I'd rather watch out for Shredder, you know? Also, big props to this intro for being the only TMNT cartoon theme not to lean on the 80s theme's catchphrases. That means no heroes in a half shell, that means no turtle power, but one thing's for certain.
I love being a turtle. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Number 6.
Step into a world of imagination. A world where imaginary friends are actually pretty freaking real. That's where you'll find Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Few cartoons can start off as whimsically as this one. From the slow build up at the beginning that just jumps straight into a wacky ragtime jig, Foster's Home had me hooked right away. The opening follows Mac around the orphanage for imaginary friends and gives us a quick look at both the mansion and the wildly varying characters you'll find there. There's a palm tree ostrich with noodle lips, a one-armed, one-eyed basketball man, an old tea-sipping rabbit, and a Pac-Man ghost. And if this opening tells me anything, it's that I'm probably about to love all of them.
Number 5.
You know, a show that's as great as Teen Titans really deserves an intro that's this colorful and fun. In fact, I'd even go so far as to say that this opening is the most stylish on this entire top 10. From this opening's first second, the infectious theme song always got me pumped, while the Teen Titans logo itself transitions from one character intro to another. Does anyone else think it's kind of weird that they just used live action footage of animals for Beast Boy? Whatever. By the way, did you know that the theme song was sung by the J-pop group Puffy Amiyumi? Yeah, they even had their own show on Cartoon Network that we almost put on this list. Just, fun fact.
Teen Titans Go!
Teen Titans Go? Little did they know when they wrote that. Little did they know.
Number 4.
Gotta Get Up is right when Static Shock comes on. I am 28 dang years old and I still want to be Virgil Hawkins. Look at this guy. He's got the hair flip, he slides down that banister, and he puts away bad guys on his way to school. I'm just saying, if I had learned about Static Shock when I was just a bit younger, I would have been a huge fan of this show. And like some other cartoons, this was one where the intro changed up a bit with every season. In the first one, he downs a robot T-Rex, but in later seasons, he teams up with his BFF Richie, who brings down some bird girl. I don't know, it's cool. And it's all in a day's work for the guy who puts a shock to your system. Now, if we could only just revive Static Shock for the modern day.
I put a shock to your system. Static Shock!
Number 3.
I can't think of any other time when I made sure that I was there for the premiere of a cartoon, except for this one. See, growing up, I was a big Cartoon Network fan, so when I found out that the creator of Dexter's Lab, my favorite cartoon of all time, is coming out with a new show, I kept my eyes glued to the TV that August 10th, 2001. I witnessed the debut of Samurai Jack. Just from the intro, you knew that you were in for something really special. The bad guy drops some background lore on you while you're treated to an art style that really hadn't been seen before. And that's when freaking will.i.am comes in with... sometimes it's the simplest of lyrics that get stuck in your head. And now you have been blessed with it too.
Number 2.
Oh boy, Avatar: The Last Airbender. If we were doing top 10 2000s cartoons, Avatar probably would have taken the tippity-top spot. But even just looking at the intros alone, Avatar's opening is as legendary as the show itself. Nobody belts out a catchy theme song, there's no wacky cartoon animal trying to get a laugh out of you. Avatar invites you into its fantastic universe with Katara's narration, which tells you everything you need to know about the story. And I think everybody knows what the most important part is.
Then, everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
Even though it's a straightforward intro, the animation is the most breathtaking on this entire list. And most importantly, it gets you right in the mood to see another episode of one of the best cartoons ever made. But since this is a list about intros...
It's number 1.
Listen, there are catchy 2000s cartoon theme songs, there are smoothly animated action-packed intros, and then there's the opening to Kim Possible. While I think most would say that the real cartoon war was being fought between Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network, if you slept on Disney Channel, you missed out on what I think is inarguably the single best cartoon opening of the decade. Everything you want in an intro is here in full force. Slick animation, an explanation of what the show even is, and by God, one of the catchiest theme songs ever in a cartoon. Stealth missions and awesome bad guys? This show's got them. Comedy? Of course. Kim's mouth that always looked like a chocolate milk mustache to me? Have some close-ups of it. And man, have I mentioned that this theme song is catchy. I haven't gotten this theme or the little doop-doop-doop out of my head since 2002. And just like KP herself, I get the feeling that it'll be there for you till the very end.
So what's the sitch?
Call me, beat me if you wanna reach me.
For our secret number 11, what's not to love about Danny Phantom's intro? You've got this catchy, fast-paced rap explaining the story of the kid whose molecules got all rearranged. Now that Danny can walk through walls, disappear, and fly, as the theme song tells me, it always got me ready to watch the half-ghost who catches ghosts. And man, he looks awesome.